This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
We're not done. Over the weekend, we would also see you on Worldwide, and you've got a few things to say. Let's take a listen here. This is from June 7th, 1986.
You will see Road Warrior Animal and Dusty Rhodes in a steel cage against Ole and Arn Anderson.
Rhodes, it seems like every time you get around the Andersons, you keep getting hurt. Now, you're not tough enough to stand the heat, but you're stupid enough to keep coming back for more. So now you figure you got Animal as your partner. That's going to equal all things out. Well, Rhodes, you're not a whole man anymore, and you're losing your edge. Just smarten Animal up how it is to be in a cage with an Anderson.
For the World Heavyweight title, it's your boy Ric Flair defends against Road Warrior Hawk. What?
So we got one. This is in the old days where they would quote unquote bicycle the tapes, and you couldn't see the video. This is a podcast, but at the bottom it had the date, the time, everywhere that match was happening, and of course how you could get your tickets. And it was one after another. I cut it off because Rick was coming in largely to say the same thing. But the idea was, this is how you sold tickets. And of course, the wrestling business has changed 100 different times over the years. But in these days, the localized promo here really became like an infomercial to sell tickets, which is your primary revenue driver at that point. This is before the days of television rights fees and before the crazy merchandise days. The way we made money is people bought tickets. So you had to become a master at talking them into the seats. And it just became a factory in the back of the studio. And it was a nice little effect there because, and it's a little thing, but you had Tony Schiavone holding the microphone right in front of the cage. And then when it's time for your promo, you walk out behind the cage. So he's holding the microphone up to the cage and you're talking about a cage match that you've got coming up. For the next promo, well, Ric Flair's not in a cage match, so he comes out and stands shoulder to shoulder with Tony Schiavone in front of the cage. It's a little thing, but boy, it just takes me back. The good old days. You had to be having fun with that and then looking back at those memories pretty fondly, right?
Yeah, and it was the magic of having a budget. You know, you could get those things done pretty cost effective. You know what I mean? Like you said, behind the cage, in front of the cage. It didn't take two sets and having to cut and go to two different things. You got it. And having Tony Schiavone, you know, the ultimate baby face, pointing out all the facts and figures and dates and times, that took us from having to do it. We could just talk about the match. And, you know, the announcers probably should get a little more credit than they do. Because in those days, man, they really helped sell the product. That's for sure.
Really just so fun. You can find some of these. You know what? We'll go ahead and have our folks tweet that out. It's at the Arn Show. So as you're listening to this, just cruise on over and be sure to check this out at the Arn Show. We'll have it up on Twitter so you can see it because it's just super fun.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.